So when I came this time, everyone was really excited and I was a lot more comfortable with everyone and I felt really comfortable in the house. So it was a good feeling. It didn't feel so scary and so uncomfortable this time. It felt more like, oh, I'm going to go visit some, some really close relatives of mine. Not necessarily my family, but like my home environment that I'm used to, but pretty much close to that. And so see, it's awful for me to have to talk about this kind of stuff because as much as I really dislike my dad, I also, in some level, it's sort of a reflection of my family. And I'll say it. A couple days after I get there, a couple of incidents happened that maybe in other people's families it would be very small or it would be uncomfortable, but it wouldn't be a huge deal. But for me, it was a huge deal. The honeymoon phase or whatever kind of wore off, and my dad stopped acting like he was on his best behavior. And he has somewhat of a temper, and his voice gets very loud and he gets very defensive and kind of angry when he's upset. And so there was a couple incidences with my brothers where they didn't clean their room or whatever, and my dad got extremely, extremely angry with them. And I'm uncomfortable with that. I'm not used to that at all. My mom never raised me like that. Not that I grew up in a absolutely perfect, Beaver Cleaver home. I've seen that kind of stuff, but just not like that, I have 5 uncles and a grandpa, so I've been around a lot of men, and I had a lot of authoritative people in my life. So again, it's not the whole, angry man, I'm running for my life. It wasn't like that at all. I've seen my uncles get mad at me for doing stupid crap, and I've gotten in trouble for doing stupid crap. But it was different. He was very tyrannical or whatever. Almost like he just expected everyone to be submissive to his command. And I'm used to having a voice in my house. If my mom is pissed at me and yelling at me, I could have done the most horrible thing in the world, but I still have the right to talk. She expects me to be respectful, but I can disagree. I can say whatever I want to say, and I can feel safe about it. I know my mom's not going to come attack me or something, but with him, it's different. And not that he physically goes and attacks people or anything, but he verbally attacks them. And it was very scary for me to watch this. And it happened a couple times within the first couple days. And again, there's a huge backstory with my stepsisters, but my dad had a lot of behavioral problems that were very, much more severe and amplified when he was younger and first married to my stepmom. And the kids saw the butt of they had to deal with a lot of stuff, a lot of crappy stuff. And hearing stories from them just broke my heart. No one should have to grow up like that. And again, I'm not trying to I should be careful with what I say. He wasn't physically abusive or anything, but he was a tyrant, and he made it kind of scary sometimes. And he did stupid crap and was scary and intimidating, and they remember that, and they have those kind of memories that prevent them from having a strong relationship with him now. So walking into the house, he's already got problems with my stepsisters. And now that I'm blood, he feels like, oh, well, she's my blood. She's not ever going to leave. I can do whatever I want. And so the honeymoon phase was over, and he starts being aggressive. And he's very competitive, so whenever we play board games, it's horrible. He sucks the fun out of it. He makes it horrible. And there was a couple incidences where he just goes off on my little brothers, and I couldn't take it anymore. And so I went, and I was really just upset and just horrified that this was happening to them. These, my brothers are 13 and 11, and they don't need to have the spirit sucked out of them just because they made a mistake when they were playing a game, They're having fun, and then all of a sudden my dad screams at them, and they just become deflated, and they become fearful, and they just shut down, and I couldn't stand that. And so I went and talked to my stepmom, and basically, I'm running out of time again, 4 days into my trip, we had a frickin' intervention for my dad. where the oldest stepsister, who's 19, myself, and my stepmom, cornered my dad in the living room and basically made him listen to all of our complaints about him. Obviously, that didn't go over very well. I mean, it went better than I thought. He didn't scream at anyone or cuss us out or anything, but he didn't want to hear it. And he kept saying all the right things to get the conversation over with, but he didn't mean it. And we were fed up with it, and it left a weird sensation in the air after that. And you could tell that my dad resented the crap out of me for participating in that. He felt ganged up on, and he felt like I had no business saying any of these kind of things because I didn't grow up with them. So that made me feel horrible about our relationship, and why would I want to come to him, and why would I want to build some sort of friendship or relationship with him when he clearly doesn't give a shit about what my opinion is in a part of this family. Not that I came in blazing guns trying to change everything, but there's some definite dynamics in this family that need to change. And as the oldest, and as someone who didn't grow up in here and who came with an outside perspective, he should have known that I wasn't coming from a aggressive, argumentative, mean place. I was coming from a concerned, older sister protecting her younger siblings / I want to fix the situation while I'm living here kind of thing. And it's nothing catastrophic. It's just little things like, remove yourself from a situation when you're pissed, or don't play video games with the boys if you're going to get so worked up. Just these little basic things. And I guess he came at it with, I don't need a 21-year-old telling me how to run my life. So whatever. That was strike one. He kind of shut down after that, and you could tell that he didn't want to have anything to do with me. I don't know if he wanted me to leave, but he definitely did not, and he wanted to make it uncomfortable for me. And my stepmom was kind of having to step in and compensate for that. And I know that that was uncomfortable for her, especially because she wants to have the facade of everything is perfect. She's like little Susie homemaker. She has a full-time job, and she has a spotless house, and she loves keeping the house going, and that's what she thrives on. And so for her to have to juggle all these different things, and then on top of that, see that there's a definite crack building in the foundation of her husband's relationship with his new daughter was a lot for her. And on top of that, she had a lot of stress at her work and with her parents and with the rest of her family. So all of that added up did not help with this new situation coming on. And with this there's a whole nother side of this too with my stepsister Shelby. She absolutely hates my dad. She's told him multiple times that she wished that he would just leave and my stepmom would divorce him, and that, if he killed over and died tomorrow, she would not be too upset over it. And so they're working through those problems, and I have nothing to do with that. But for me to come in after a couple weeks and start noticing things that Shelby has known her entire life was a little overwhelming for her. She felt like for once someone was maybe on her side and maybe wasn't trying to brush things under the rug and saw things for what they really were, because my dad is very manipulative, and the last thing he and my stepmom want is for any kind of ill feelings or negative aspects of the family to be shown to anyone. And even though I'm a part of the family, they still want to save face and make the family look good to me, because I mean, it's understandable. They don't want they don't want me to feel like I'm walking into the lion's den or something, when in actuality, that's what happened. I had no idea what the hell I was walking into. So all of these weird dynamics are building up without my presence, and then you add me into it, and on top of that, they're going through a battle with Shelby right now. She has a boyfriend who they absolutely hate, and they're convinced he's horrible, and so there's all this shit that's going on that has nothing to do with me. And then I step in and have problems with my dad, and on top of that, he doesn't want to deal with me. So this is just the perfect recipe for a catastrophe. And it looks like I'm going to have to do one more video. Sorry.